This is the 2021 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment number 2, Saison. Thank you to our sponsors, Imperial Yeast, 5 Star Chemicals, Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store, Brewing America, all stainless steel mash paddle sponsors. Also Hopsteiner and Yakima Chief Hops. Get brewing.
Alright, so we are back for number 2 review. This time it is Dave at Big Dawg Brewing. Another canner. I think it's 4 of us now that are canners here in the club. Gary, Dave, Matt, and myself. Matt, myself, and Dave all have the October SL1, and Dave has, Gary has the All-American, I believe. If you check some of his videos, you'll see him in the background in the reviews he's going through. So, but the canning, not cheap, but way to go if you're interested in shipping beer around. So, Dave, very cool labels. I know you were asking about how they held up in the fridge. Held up very well. Be interested to know what type of labels you end up going to. I believe he prints these on his own computer at home, but it's a label that you can purchase online, and I'm not sure what that is. So Dave did the Belgian Saison II, that's OLY042, that's an Omega yeast. Some of the information about it, he has the beer name is Back Alley Sally Saison. As I just said, the Omega Belgian Saison II, OYL042. This is a 7.1 ABV. Brewed on 5.1, kegged on 5.15, and canned on 6.20 with an OG of 10.58 and a FG of 10.04, so very, very dry. A little bit of information from Omega's website on this. Thought to originate from a small, sophisticated Belgian brewer spelt Saison. It's earthy, spicy, peppery, tart, and dry with a tropical fruit and citrus at warm fermentation temps. I'll have to check here in a second in terms of what Dave fermented at. A perfect strain for farmhouse ales and Saison. Favors pitching in the low 70s and free rising from there. I believe Dave has now a fermentation chamber. So let's see. So he has 1 package, no starter, 5.5 gallon batch. As I gave you the brew dates already, bottling dates already. He brews on an Anvil Foundry, the 120. He mashed at 158, pH of 5.4. Pre-boil of 1053 with a final of 1058. He fermented at 69. Does not say if he was able to hold it there or not, so I'm not sure if he used the fermentation chamber. Dave, if you did, throw that in the comments. It'd be interesting to know that. Cold crash for 3 days at 38 degrees. 1004 was the final. 4.3 final pH. Force carbonated at 25 psi for 36 hours. For 48 hours and 36 degrees. So that is all the information on it. So we'll get a crack on this. Definitely, I'm thinking clearer and lighter color so far based on the two. Pretty close. All right, so very clear, I would say. Touch clearer than Gary's that we tried earlier tonight. If you look closely, you can see my face through that. Good carbonation. You can see the bubbles coming up through there. Not much of a head. Now this is probably an hour after I did the review on Gary's, so maybe they settled down a little bit. That could very well have been, again, my issue for moving the stuff from indoor or outdoor fridge to indoor fridge. So I would say a touch lighter, close in that same copper, but I would call this more towards straw in terms of color. Definitely had retention so far. Even with Gary's being probably shaken up a little bit from the movement, his head hung around a little bit longer, but still got good carbonation, so I don't have a problem with that. Very similar type of nose from Gary's. That typical Saison type of yeast character that you get from it. You can pick up a little of peppery, a slight bit of that Belgian type of character you typically think about when you have a double, quad, triple, something like that. Not in the face punch you with bubble gum and clove and those types of things. That's not, but it's that Belgian character that you typically get. I don't pick up anything else other than that. So very clean. Nice job so far, Dave. All right, here we go, gentlemen. Cilantro. pretty clean through. Again, dry, finishes off the palate. Probably a touch more dry than Gary's was. And I think Gary's was, let's see, 1009. So that makes sense. Yeah, this was 1004. So yeah, definitely drying in the sense that it makes you want to come back for another sip. Pretty similar overall, though. I would say they're very close. French Saison, and let me just look at it. Just make sure I'm not getting these messed up at all here. White Labs and Omega. Okay, I just want to make sure there wasn't the same yeast lab. Man, that's pretty darn close. In terms of two beers being similar, I find these to be very, very similar. Again, very drying off the palate. If you search for it, you can probably find a little of that peppery type of character that you typically get. Maybe a hint of that citrus in the background, but I don't find an awful lot of it. You know, they're talking about earthy, spicy, peppery, tart. That would characterize it pretty good. I wouldn't say they talk about tropical fruits and citrus at warm temperatures. Now, Dave did ferment at 69, and again, I'd be interested, Dave, if you move this up at all when fermentation temperatures. Did you wrap it? What type of temperatures did you use at? It does say 69, but I'm not sure, you know, from there did it free rise, because this is, to me, a pretty straightforward, clean Saison. You get the Saison that you'd expect out of it, but it's not, there's no farmhouse, no funk, none of that type of stuff that you get into from what I've seen in terms of higher fermentation temperatures. So this is a really, really solid beer. I enjoy this. That's a nice summertime drinker, easy drinking on the back porch type of thing. So overall, very, very good. I like this one a lot. Good job, Dave. Very good overall. So again, as I said, I'm going to try to get 2 of these in, maybe a third. Probably not going to be able to get to the third, but my hope is to get 2 of these in and try to post them and get them out before I fly out to North Carolina here tomorrow. So my hope is to get that done. If I don't, I apologize. It'll be after the 4th of July when these do get posted. So my hope is to try to get that done. But again, hope everybody has a great 4th of July. Slaunch everybody. Hope everybody's getting out and enjoying the less regulations. If you do have less regulations wherever you're at, that your state has opened up and you're able to get out and do things and see people. And I'm actually going to see my parents for the first time in 2 years, so it'll be nice to see family again. So, all right, I will quit rambling here. We've almost gone 8 minutes. So, hope everybody has a great one. Slaunch you guys. We'll see you.